thought a special edition is going to be a meta-defining product. Cimoooooooo! What's going on, guys? It's Cimo. So I had a completely separate video planned for today, but what happened was we got news of the Extreme Force Special Edition, which is going to be dropping towards the end of March. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, a Special Edition, what could be so special about that? I mean, all a Special Edition is 3 packs of the latest set, plus you get a couple of promo cards as well. And yeah, we've had some okay promo cards in the past in some of these. I mean, we got Wing Dragon of Raw Sphere Mode in the Circuit Break one, for instance, and we've also gotten some other things like Solemn Strike and Skullmeister, so every now and then these promos can actually prove to be rather fruitful. Well, this is a completely different story because of the contents of the promos in this set. So that's what I wanted to go ahead and discuss today. So basically, when you get a special edition, there's 2 types of promos. There's one of 2 promos that you receive that are of cards that have already been printed. This is stuff, like I said, we've seen before, like Solemn Strike, Skullmeister, Wing Dragon of Raw Sphere Mode. It's cards that have already been printed, but they just get an additional reprint, and it helps bring the price of those cards down. So for the Extreme Force Special Edition, the 2 promos that we're going to be getting reprinted are Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon and Psy-Frame Gear Gamma. Yeah, fucking Gamma is a promo in the Extreme Force Special Edition. That is absolutely huge. Now, let's talk about Cypher Blade first, because Cypher Blade is, while it's not the most in-demand reprint that we've ever seen, it is still a $10 jump promo about on average. I know some Blue Eyes players run it, some other decks may take advantage of it as well. So even though it's not something as in high of a demand to say something like Gamma, it's still a nice reprint because it's an expensive card, and it's also a jump promo, which means it hasn't had any other printing up until this point. That also means that maybe in the future, since they've been reprinting jump promos in these special editions, that something like Link Karibo could be a future promo for a future special edition. That's something I just wanted to have you guys, take a food for thought. But getting back to the real card here, Psy-Frame Gear Gamma. Now, Psy-Frame Gear Gamma at the time of recording this video is currently demanding a $30 price tag, and for good reason, because Psy-Frame Gear Gamma is essentially the ultimate out and counter, for now, for hand traps. And this is something that we've seen a huge surge in popularity of during the time of Spyro format, and really when the game is in a really, I would say, not dangerous place, but let's say it's not in the most healthiest of places, Gamma starts to see play in the meta. And now that we're in this format where like hand traps are completely universal, and everyone just needs to be playing them, Gamma seems to be the best solid option that we currently have. And I think this is a fantastic reprint as a whole, just because of the fact that it makes Gamma, it's going to bring the price tag of this card down to maybe like $5 to $10, very similar like it did to Solemn Strike, making it much more accessible for players to access. This card has never had a reprint. This was on my top 5 reprints for 2018, so I'm glad to see that Konami listened to the community and decided to reprint this card in the special edition. But if you thought Gamma was enough to make this a worthwhile product, think again, because in this set you also get one of 2 promos that are super rare printings of cards from the next set, and the set following Extreme Force is Flames of Destruction. So the cards that are going to be the promos that you can get from this are Mech Knight Avram, which is basically just a 2000 vanilla Psychic Light monster. Also as a Mech Knight, I guess there's some potential there, but that's not what we care about. What we care about is the other promo card, Called by the Grave. And if you guys don't know what this card is, this is the card formerly known as Designator from the Grave in the OCG. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with Designator from the Grave, I made an entire video discussing why this is probably going to be the best card to come out of Flames of Destruction, and not to mention in Japan, it was a fucking common. So I was terrified that Designator from the Grave, or I guess now Called by the Grave, was going to be a secret rare upgrade, because it's currently the 3rd most played card in Japan, because of the fact that Called by the Grave is a quick play spell that answers hand traps. Essentially, this card, in short, is able to banish a card from the graveyard and negate the effects of all of those cards for the duration of the turn. And since hand traps discard themselves for cost, you banish the hand trap that they sent to the graveyard, it negates the effect of that hand trap, and now you're able to play through it, giving us yet another option disruption to help us play through hand traps in a very different sense than the way Gamma does. But that's what's kind of crazy about this, because this is ultimately like the anti-hand trap special edition, because not only are you getting Gamma, but you're also getting Called by the Grave in here as well. But what's really crazy about this, and what a lot of people aren't realizing, is that this set comes out 2 days before YCS Salt Lake City at the end of March, which was also just announced last night. Now, this is absolutely impactful because, like I said, in the OCG, Called by the Grave is currently the 3rd most played card among the top decks, and that really speaks volumes considering the card was only a common. This card is just fucking ridiculous because not only can it stop hand traps, but it acts as grave disruption. There's so much upside for a card like this, and we're going to be getting it as a promo in a special edition. They could have easily rarity bumped this to secret rare, no problem in Flames of Destruction, by letting us get it. But the thing is, by pushing it up for the Extreme Force special edition, not only are they not making it a secret rare, because typically the cards that they make promos in these special editions either come as common or rare in the main set, but also by pushing it up to the Extreme Force special edition, it's going to be legal for the first YCS the same weekend the product is released. If it came out in Flames of Destruction, we probably wouldn't be getting the set for maybe another month after the Extreme Force Special Edition is released, which means it wouldn't be applicable to any events, at least that we know of, that are scheduled for that time. So making it right in time for that is just perfect, because YCS Salt Lake City is going to be flooded with this card, and it's definitely something that you have to look out for. This changes the entire dynamic of the metagame when this card enters, because now there's going to be the question of, oh, if they have Called by the Grave, I mean, are hand traps still good? You have to think about all these different, counterplay interactions that this card implements, because right now, Gamma's the only thing we really have to worry about. Well, Gamma's a good card. Gamma can be played around fairly easily, but this card is completely different from Gamma, and I think that's what makes the set so appealing. One other thing I did want to mention before wrapping up this video is the fact that the Lost Art promotion also starts in February as well. So you're going to be able to easily pick up 3 of these special editions for 30 bucks and also get your Lost Art promo in addition to buying these special editions. So it's kind of interesting how it's all starting to tie together where, they implement the Lost Art promotion, they start giving us some very, very good promo cards in the special editions that encourage you to buy sealed product at your local game store, which also gives you a little bit of an incentive if you spend enough money. So it's starting to kind of all come together, but at the same time, is that necessarily a bad thing? I don't think so. Now, is this kind of a sad attempt to really bolster a lackluster set? Absolutely, because as we all know, Extreme Force is not one of the best sets that we've had, but at the same time, if you're gonna bolster a set with promo cards, this is how you fucking do it. You give us a $30 reprint, you give us arguably the strongest card from the next set coming out as a promo right before a YCS. That is what gets people excited to buy your product, and frankly, if we start getting more reprints like this, I would be totally okay with that. Like, let's see Beals in one of these. Beals is still incredibly expensive. Any card that's like a $20 or above card that hasn't yet seen a reprint in over like 3 years, like Psyframe Gear Gamma for instance, makes an excellent candidate to be reprinted in one of these special editions, because it also seems that they're starting to tailor these more for the competitive player as well. So that way, anyone can get one of these products, and they're going to be generally happy with what they get as a whole. So I want to give kudos to Konami where it's due, because I think this is a fantastic product. Again, it's not the best set, but I think the way they're going about it, and the way the narrative's all starting to tie together, I think it's really good, and I think it's what gets people excited. So guys, those are just my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the Extreme Force Special Edition promos. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to like the video as always, subscribe to the channel for more amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content, and if you found this video informative, consider backing me on Patreon, because just by pledging only $1 a month, you're investing in my ability to continue bringing you amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content. So thanks so much again, and we'll see you next time.